How's it going, guys? Today I have a new tool in the workshop, and that is the Grizzly G0858 joiner. Today I'm going to be going ahead and unboxing it, setting it up, and show you guys how to set up a joiner when it's brand new out of the box, and hopefully take a few test cuts with it. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I get started, I want to go ahead and take this on-off switch and mount it so it's just not hanging on the ground the whole time. And then I'll just connect these power cords real quick and we can go ahead and get started. So a few more things to know while we're talking about the electrical real quick. This joiner has a 620 plug on it, and if you're like me, I didn't have that in my shop, so I had to run an electrical line out here, and for that I have a 620 outlet on it, 240 volt line with the 20 amp breaker, and this joiner is 3 horsepower. It says it uses 230 volts and 12 amps, but it did say to have a 20 amp breaker on it, so we're all set there. I went ahead and turned it on a few times and it seems to be working out really well, so let's go ahead and start setting this up. So now that my joiner's out of the box and roughly in the place where I want it to be, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off all the oil that they put on there so it wouldn't rust during shipping, and I'm gonna replace it with my own corrosion prevention, and for that I chose Bow Shield T9. This stuff you just spray on and it's gonna prevent any surface rust or anything like that, and it's also gonna provide a waxy film so the wood will slide right across and hopefully keep my joiner looking new for years to come. After letting the Bow Shield cure overnight, I went ahead and wiped off the excess, and now I'm just applying a paste wax so my wood can slide through nice and easy. So now I have all my surfaces protected from corrosion in the future, and I have a nice layer of wax in it so the lumber is going to slide through nice and easy, and that's just what I want. Now, after reading the manual a little bit, they recommend taking a straight edge, setting it on my outfeed table, and aligning it so that when my cutter head comes around, it's just gonna be nicking it. Not enough to move it, but just enough to touch it. And that's basically where I'm at with my inboard piece. But then when I come to the outboard side, my cutter head is just missing it by just a hair. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and raise the outboard side of my outfeed table, and I can do that by taking off the cover as you see here, and there's cams on it, and that's basically going to allow me to raise and lower 4 different points on this table. That's just 1 in each corner, and every time you adjust one, it is going to slightly affect the whole table overall, but hopefully if I can just make that minor adjustment, I'll be able to get this to be even with my cutter head, and my outfeed table will be all set. So now I want to rotate this eccentric nut just until this cutter head touches that straight edge. So one thing I failed to mention was I was just using this straight edge as an example because it was easier to show, but when you're actually adjusting it, you want a straight edge that's going to span the length of your entire table. That way you know that your whole outfeed table is even with your cutter head, and that's exactly how mine is right now. So I'm all good there. You want to make sure it's hitting in all 4 spots, the inboard, the outboard, the diagonal, and the other diagonal, and I'm all set there. So from here on out, I don't want to touch my outfeed table. It's locked in, it's parallel with my cutter head. Now what I want to do is go ahead and set my infeed table to match my outfeed table. So setting my infeed table to be parallel with my outfeed table is pretty similar. What I did was I went ahead and laid my straight edge across, and I weighed it down on the outfeed table side. That way I know it's going to be completely flush with this outfeed table. And then if I look on the Infeed side, there's a slight gap towards the cutter head, and then it gets closed up. So either my back end needs to be lowered or my front end needs to be raised up a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and raise the front end up a little bit, and then I'm gonna do the same thing I did on the Outfeed side, which is check it from 4 different spots, one in the front, one in the back, and then 2 diagonals. And once that gets all nice and even, I'll know that my tables are parallel to each other. I can set my fence and I can make my first couple passes on here. So let's go ahead and adjust this, and hopefully I'll be off to the races soon. So after some adjusting, I got both of my tables to be completely parallel with each other, and the best method I found out for this was using this 4-foot long level, and then I weighed down the side on the Outfeed table. That way I knew I had absolutely no gap here, and then I adjusted the Infeed table until any gaps that I had disappeared, and now I have a nice even table and both sides are parallel with each other. The next step is going to be adjusting my Outfeed table so that the tip of the knives when they're at top dead center is going to be completely flush with my Outfeed table. And I can do this by loosening the jam nut, adjusting the stop bolt so it's completely out of the way, setting my table to be flush when it's top dead center with the cutting knives, and then repositioning that stop bolt and retightening the jam nut. And then you'll want to do the same thing on the other side, where one stop will be set so your Infeed and Outfeed table are flush, and then the other stop is going to be a 1/2 inch, and this is based off your depth cut gauge on the side, and that's how you align that up. And for my 1/2 inch, I just used a piece of stock and got it so it's nice and smooth underneath. And last but not least, my fence has 2 stops in it. I'm going to set one for 90 degrees and another one at 45. And the last thing to do before I make some test cuts is go ahead and install the blade guard. So after making a few test passes, there's a couple things I want to check. The first is to make sure my board's going to be nice and flat after I pass it through along the face of it. And for that, I'm just going to push in each corner and make sure that there's no rocking of any sorts. And this board is sitting extremely flat, so I'm very happy with that. The next thing I'm going to check is the edge, and I'm basically going to do the same thing. I should see a very flat face against here, and when I push on it, I have no rocking or anything. So I'm extremely happy with that. And last but not least, I'm gonna make sure my fence is 90 by just taking a carpenter square and putting it on both sides that I just resurfaced. And you should have absolutely no gap, and I don't have any gap, so that's exactly what I wanna see. And I think it's safe to say that this joiner is all set up and ready to use. So all in all, I have to say I'm extremely happy with the way this joiner is performing. The setup wasn't that bad. Now, it was my first time doing a joiner and setting it up this extensively, so it was definitely a learning process, but hopefully you guys picked up a few things as well. And I gotta say, it seems like everything on this machine is great quality, with the exception of the handles. I don't get why they made them out of plastic, and it feels kind of cheap, especially when the rest of the joiner is made out of cast iron and metal, and it seems really rugged and durable. And then it seems like they cheaped out on the handles for some reason. So maybe if they're watching this or something like that in the future, I would definitely improve the handles on this. It doesn't make sense to me that they're made out of plastic. But Besides that, I gotta say I'm extremely happy with this purchase. Hopefully I'll get many years out of it to come, and hopefully you guys picked up a few things as well. So that's it for the joiner setup. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more woodworking videos. I'm gonna try to be a lot more active. I know I said that in my last video too, which was like 6 months ago, but I am really gonna try to put out a lot more content in the next year. So I hope you guys all had a great Christmas and have a happy new year.